like to welcome everyone to our few minutes together on the Parsha. The Shabbos, we have the privilege of reading Parshas Savo, which has a large section towards the end dealing with the Tochacha, literally the rebuke, and it has to do with what will happen if the Jewish people don't listen to the Torah. And unfortunately, we've seen all too well in our time how some of these terrible, terrible curses have actually befallen the Jewish people. And what we really are hoping for when we read this at the end of the year is that Tachel Shana Uberkoseha, first Tichla Shana V'Kiloseha, that the year should end and all of its curses, and Tachel Shana Uberchoseha, and that the new year should begin only with blessings. And the Parsha, as we discussed last year, begins with the concept of Hakaras Hatov. And the concept of Hakaras Hatov is brought to us in a very strong fashion by the very first mitzvah mentioned in this week's section. The pasuk says, "V'haya ki savo el haaretz." It will be when you will come to the land, Asher Hashem Elokecha nosein lecha nachla, that Hashem will give to you as an inheritance, v'yirishta v'yashavta, but you should possess it and you should dwell in it. And then the pasuk says that when you do that, v'lokachta meireshis peri ha'adama, you should take from the first fruits of the ground, Asher tovi me'artzecha, which you will bring from your land, Asher Hashem Elokecha nosein loch, which Hashem your God gives you, and then the samta batene, you should put it in a basket, the halachta el hamakom, and you should go to the place asher yivcha Hashem Elokecha l'shakein shmo sham, in which Hashem will choose to rest there His name, which of course means to the base Hamikdash. And then you come to the Kohen that will be in those days, and you say to him, Higarati hayom l'Hashem Elokecha, I say today to Hashem, your God, that I've come to the land which He swore to give to our fathers. The Kohen takes the basket from your hand, and he puts it in front of the Mizbeach, and then you make the soliloquy known as Mikra Bikurim, which encapsulates the psukim that we carefully explain in the Haggadah. Now this Mikra Bikurim, this speaking about the Bikurim, is fleshed out in its details in the Mishnayos in Masechta Bikurim, and quoted by the Rambam in Hilchas Bikurim in Perek Beis. Here in Perek Gimel in the Mishnayos, it tells us what happens. How do you separate the Bikurim? So the Mishnah says, Keitzad mafrishin ha-bikurim, how do you separate the Bikurim? Yored Adam besoch sodehu, a man goes into his field, v'ra'ah te'ena shebichra, and he sees a fig that got ripe. Eshkol shebiker, or a cluster of grapes that's beginning to get ripe. It doesn't mean literally ripe. It means biker means it sprouted forth at the very first fruits. And what he did is, he was koshro bigmi. He would take a little string and tie it around, because the fig tree grows many, many figs, and the grape clusters come many on the vine. And how's he going to know which one was the first one? So at the first sign of the cluster, or the first sign of the fig, or the first sign of the rimon, he takes a string and wraps it around. The Mishnayos goes on to describe, I don't have time to read it through, but I wish you would, in Perek Gimel in Bikurim, it goes on to describe that they used to have a cow or an ox walking in front of them as they went. Let's say they would live somewhere up near Netanya, let's say, or in the Galil, and they had to bring it to Yerushalayim. So they'd have to walk, or on a cart, go down to Jerusalem, and every town that they passed would join in a little bit with them, walk along with them, and then people would gather, and as they got closer to Yerushalayim, music would play, people would join in, and they would have crowns around the oxen and wreaths and flowers and people playing instruments and singing and dancing and praising Hashem and saying Tehillim, all the way to Yerushalayim. Why? Because we're bringing the first fruits. And how many fruits did they bring? 1 fig, 1 little cluster of grapes, 1 pomegranate, all of this pageantry and procession only for 1 fig? Yes, because this is teaching us the unbelievably powerful value of Hakaras Hatov. I thank God. I came down to Egypt to have nothing. I left Egypt. I come to the land of Israel. I've got a fruit, 1 fruit. That 1 fruit is so precious. It's so valuable. All of this is for the thankfulness of this 1 fruit. At the end of the year, when we think about all the blessings that God has given us over the year, all the blessings that Kadosh Baruch Hu has showered us with, even though there have been tough times, and we look forward to a year of more blessing, and not just 1 fig, a whole basket of figs perhaps, more than 1 pomegranate, more than just a cluster of grapes. Maybe we'll buy grapes every single week for Shabbos, maybe even for during the week. Maybe we have an overabundance of fruit in our refrigerators. We have so much food, so much wealth. We're so blessed with so many wonderful things, and especially we're blessed to live in a time where we can actually take these fruits and go to Jerusalem, go to Yerushalayim, thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu for all the gifts. This is a time of year in which we read about the Bikurim, because it's all about Hakaras Hatov. And if we have that great amount of Hakaras Hatov at the end of the year for all the good, we hope that that thankfulness for the gifts that Hashem has given us will carry over for the next year, and we will be blessed with more bounty, with more goodness, with more simcha, with more joy, not only for our own individual selves, but for all of Klal Yisrael, for our friends, for our neighbors, for our family, for all of Klal Yisrael. A year of peace, a year of goodness, because we have tremendous hakaras hatov to Hashem for all the gifts that He's given to us. Have a wonderful Shabbos.